look at this, folks. We've got some of the early eager beavers in the staging lanes, champing at the bit to get out there for Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days number 4. Oh yes, Bill, let me tell you.
It's a good drive up the range, and it's all worth it. Get your friends out here, folks. Get on and send them a text. Let them know the beautiful weather up here at Warwick, wherever they might need to come from. I tell you what, on the way up, she's done a lot of people go dirt bike riding. Went past Gap Creek Moto, and it's out the gate with dirt squirting everywhere. Like, there's a million dirt squirting families out there. And I had a good idea. I said, next time we have a Junga Bunga or a Warwick event, we should duck down the road to Gap Creek Moto, and maybe we can get all the, because that night they don't motocross at night. That's a safety hazard. But you know what? Wouldn't they be good up here to come and watch it? So I thought we need to get into the dirt squirters. We should offer up a dirt squirter drag race night, like dirt bike drag night. Get all the dirt squirters up here to run one night, I reckon, because there's a million down there, and it's like, how do we get them up here? What are they doing tonight? Come on up. I didn't have enough time to stop and get them all G'd up. They're all out squirting around on the dirt. But that's what we could do. There's that many people in the region enjoying their recreation today, and I love this recreation especially.
Oh, that's for sure, of course. Junga Bunga's No Prep Cash Days is the place to be. But as you said, the dirt bikers, I think I saw at least half a dozen trailers, and each one of those half a dozen trailers had about half a dozen bikes on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Aussie families are enjoying their recreation, their motorised recreation, more than ever. I got the blue one, you got the green one. We'll just check with it. We'll also make sure that we've got the volume coming up on both of them here.
Testing.
It is nearly flat though, it says up there.
All right, we might have to get. Can we put a big gym in there? Because anyway, we can draft one of them big gym batteries in there. You know those big things you used to get in them big Eveready torches.
Just run a couple of wires from it to Optima batteries.
Yeah, just run them from there. So Phil just going in for a battery change. See what happens, folks. This is a little bit of a view into the future if you owned a Tesla. You'd be stuck. You'd have to be at a charging station charging your microphone up. I've got a little 6.5 horsepower Honda powering mine for the whole day there. All I've got to do is keep a little tin of petrol next door to me and I'll be right. It's great to be part of 1320 Motorsports Warwick Dragway, Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days number 4. The entry list, as we know, was sort of up nearly 100 odd. And so much so that they had to sort of divide the pits up today. So all the entrants predominantly are in here behind the tower. And we'll try and keep the spectator vehicles on the other side and trailers and all that. But we've got some fantastic vehicles here, even in our 700 class here. Well, you're not going to see the ETs yet. Big shout out there, the Disco Dean watching on the live stream already. And he's down in the pits or something there by the look of that. He's wherever Disco Dean is, he's watching the Overtaking Lane live stream. And let me tell you, the Overtaking Lane live stream has taken itself a big injection. Well, I call it refining perfection, actually, because the guys have been so good at what they've done with the stream so far. But yeah, they got a little bit of new gear around, all new technology. The Starlink, I can nearly feel the heat from the Starlink as it's trying to get this a massive amount of essential data away, but culminating in a fantastic live stream with new cameras and angles, and our crew ready to throw it all around and steer it throughout the day. So I've been telling people all week about it. If you're not coming up to Warwick to see it live, get on the live stream, get your friends on it as well. We get a lot of shout outs and people from overseas, and we've still got that feature there where we've got the live chat. Tell us where you're watching from on the live stream as we just about start proceedings here today. Our Overtaking Lane subscribers and viewers, let us know where you're from, your name and where you're from. G'day, g'day. There we go. A few tests there. Looks like it's all good. Jason Tompkins. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jason, for the shout out. Other people, Disco Dean. Disco Dean's at Yamba. There we go. So Disco, big shout out. So we've got Disco Dean at Yamba watching. Jason Tompkins, where are you from, mate? Let us know on the live stream where you all might be watching from. Get yourself up here if you're local, but again, if you're a little bit further afield, Actually, I might send a message to one of my mates in Florida. I was actually rang him the other day. Isn't it amazing? Met this bloke on my European tour last year. He was from Florida. I called him Gator as a nickname, and he just loved all the Australian colloquialisms. And would you believe, we haven't really kept in touch since he's gone back to the States. He's not on Facebook, very hard to contact. He then tries to ring me one morning, and lo and behold, we got the same birthday. So that was a real. He rang me. He goes, "I'll just let you know my birthday is the same birthday as you." And it's like, well, didn't know that. That's why we got on so well. So I might get Gator on here from Florida to tune in and watch some Junga Bunga no prep. A few more shouting out here. South Australia for Guzman 73. Jason's in Bundy. Lynn's down the Gold Coast. Blue Swift. Oh, there's one Blue Swift that I know. It's normally an angry bee or a squirrel. I don't know what I think he's hard to identify exactly what he might be there, the Blue Swift, unless it's a different Blue Swift. But we've got various categories here today. I think we're starting with our Pro Index 7 flatters or something. So we've got a variety of vehicles in there. Of course, we don't have times today, so do not expect us to be reading out too many times. We've got that covered here on the screen. If it's a good number, you might hear a different tone or grunt in my voice. I'll have a variety of different expressions to tell us whether that was an impressive number or not. So you'll never hear a number from me today, but you will hear a grunt.
Yeah, that's going to be the hard thing, isn't it, Chris? The girls up here have decided they're going to idiot-proof that computer, and they've sticky taped a piece of paper over the screen because they know they can't trust us not to do it and not to read out those times. So they've idiot-proofed it. So we'll see if, well, I was just thinking, challenge accepted, because I am a bit of an idiot. So we'll see how we go.
You got some power back there, Phil.
Plugged it into the Tesla supercharger. Got the microphone working.
All right, Dylan Bow watching from Hewenden in North Queensland. So big shout out to you watching too. Looks like we're all ready to roll. We've got cars fired up and ready to come to the water. And oh my goodness, isn't it amazing? Southeast Queensland, what we have got lurking in garages in Queensland. And then opportunities like this to let them rip, set them free. I'll tell you right now, we've got already, let's just do the sums, 90, nearly 100 cars. I'd say over $1 million worth of cars here. All right, Dale Bennett and Dennis Ryan are going to kick us off here this morning. They're going to be in the budget radial class. Well, actually, when you look at it, looks like we're qualifying them all together, and then when the category's on, that's what we're going to do.
And just look at that stunning HQ coupe there. Beautiful car, definitely not budget.
Oh, well, we've got classes. We've got the 7.0 class. It's going to be probably for Dennis Ryan by the look of it later on. 7.0's brought to us by, so it's the Pro Index 7.0 brought to us by Unreal Plates. And for budget radial, that's going to be Pro Street Radials. So Dale Bennett in the HQ and Dennis Ryan. So everyone's just going to sort of qualify this morning. And we're not going to read out any ETs. It's not public knowledge, is it? So here we go. Look, we've got some incrementals there. We might be able to give you reaction times. That'll at least tell you what the whole shot is. But we're certainly not going to rattle off any ETs for you today. All I can say is Dennis Ryan was quicker than Dale Bennett. I had to look under the sheet then. I just had to. But I don't think we've got the boards on either.
I was a little bit worried when I saw you lifting the skirt up there.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Whoa.
That's a piece of paper deliberately put in here so we don't look at the ETs. So Randall Moore now down from Roma. How about this? He's got the big Statesman IRS and Luke Hauser, that Buick V6 Corolla. This thing is a very, very tough competitor. Can get that little left-hand front wheel dangling under that turbo V6 torque. Let's see how he goes on the first hit. Looks like the track had an initial prep to it, but it won't be after that. Well, Luke spins the tyre. He got back on it. Remember, we're running to the 660 here today, so he's through to the finish line, and even with a pedal, not too bad. Randall Moore, one end to the other. and not a bad run for the Stato. Not as fast, obviously.
Yeah, so Randall's well known and famous for the world's fastest FJ, isn't he? So yeah, awesome car that one. But today running the Stato.
Yeah, there's a few in the stable. All right, the next pairing now. We'll check out Stephen Tolley in, of course, that beautiful VL Calais, and Tim Connolly spinning those tyres, Stephen, but not a bad recovery for him, and he gets down there first. Tim Connolly, isn't that ironic that he had 351 as the number on the vehicle? I suppose if you could choose a number and you're a Ford fan, 351's one of the numbers you've seen in your head all your life, haven't you?
Watch the digital clock and wait for 351 to come up and get all excited.
Well, that's it, and yeah, sometimes there's just a number that's stuck in your head that's your favourite engine, Cubes. Brett Page up there now, in case you didn't notice, that blown and injected, very tough Fairlane. Michael Lewis, equally as tough. He's nitrous, big block Chev on board for Michael. There's not too many lightweights in this field at all. We have got some real steel out here this weekend. And Mick Lewis, normally a bit of spray through the wagon. He's got that clear scoop from Sweden on the front. The Sweden clear scoop was the first clear scoop I've ever seen on a pro street car. It was from Sweden. Back in the Camaros used to run in the 80s and 90s. We'd come to United States, the Swedes, and run nitrous cars with a clear scoop. Oh, both guys sort of getting it. You know what, that's going to be a theme for today. It's going to be pedal fest all day long. A pedal fest all day long, no doubt about it. But the quality, the vehicles, the variety.
And how exciting has it been already? We've got hardly any of these cars have made it down 100% cleanly. But this is that's what these practice runs are for. You know, especially with no prep, definitely very, very important. They get a handle on how the track's actually going to handle the horsepower without the prep. And at the moment, they're testing those limits.
How good is this? We haven't got an entry name for the Mustang, but just something about that shape. Love that Mark 1 shape. 68 Boss, it says on the plates. Rowan Ward beside him in that beautiful GS XY. Oh, a whole lot of tramp there, axle tramp. I actually tell you what, I reckon she's broken an axle or something, because that Mustang is sort of, every time he puts the power down, it wants to go to the centre line. Rowan Ward, not a bad run from point A to point B. A very, very stout run for Rowan. But yeah, just did you see that bit of tramp, spin and tramp, and then that can snap stuff.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you used to have those tramp rods for. You don't see those things anymore, but yeah, as you said, it didn't look good even after that massive axle tramp. Car did not look healthy or happy, at least. Let's put it that way. Hopefully, we're wrong.
So look, as we said, you know, this is the Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days. Thanks to the great sponsors, Hillman Race Components, Viking Metalcraft, Pro Street Radials, Unreal Plates, Queens Road Paint and Panel. We've got that merchandise available over near the canteen, so Junga's done the event shirt. He's wearing it right now, Junga. He's the best model that you can have for it, because you do get a fair decent square meterage on the back of that.
Yeah, just imagine, you know, he's pretty much a male model material. He's got the flowing locks.
Yeah, it's still... Yeah, there's some tough stuff that we just don't know every secret out here this weekend. And of course the ETs are one secret you sort of keep from everyone, but after this, who knows what they've got. We haven't quite got it all on the entry list here for anyone as far as exactly what they're packing. Some stuff we know about, some stuff is a bit more secret. Paul Garside, how about this Tirana? It sounds the game. Alexander Kraft, like another Fairlane. License plate Hustle, like that one. So what's he packing here? A bit of... Might be running an H-pack. Manual gearbox or just on and off the throttle, I don't know. Alexander Kraft gets there, look, not too bad, walks the thing down. Paul Garside, all sorts of problems with the Tirana. But It's a hit. Remember, these are our test hits. So we're sort of hitting until, what did we say? Probably 1 o'clock or something?
Yeah, I think around about 1:30, something like that, yeah. And then, as you said, this is the test hits. A good opportunity for these guys and girls to see what this track will actually hold without the prep.
Stephen Sheedy now and Peter Kelly. Classic Holden lineup here. Look at these things. Just enough meat under the back there for Sheedy. It's got a bit of meat underneath it. The Premier. Nice pedal job and good recovery and not bad ETs. That, you know, they're normally within a 4 or 5 tenths of each other so far. All I can tell you is that we're seeing quite a few in that sort of, you know, 7-second-ish, 7.5-second-ish zone. Some of these cars.
Yeah, no, as you said, some very close racing already. Of course, we can't give out any of the figures at this stage, but let me just tell you, they've been some very close racing so far. And as I'm looking over Tyler's shoulder up here, don't tell him I'm doing it. I'm looking over his shoulder. The feed on that overtaking lane live feed is looking absolutely magnificent. Absolutely magnificent.
Billy Cumner, that thing just gets up and goes, and that is a good number for Bill. And Peter Hines beside, equally as impressive. But yeah, the panel van just built for war. And such a good lineup of cars. Like, where are they all from? Honestly, license plate bad VL, and yeah, but it's got all the right noises that a bad VL should have. Actually, we've got a few good VLs in the place today. Andy Fenson beside in the Tirana, beast, hell of a beast. Andy Fenson's always been a fan of the good horsepower, and has brought plenty in this muscular hatchback, muscular four-door Tirana.
And how good did it look with smoke billowing off the tyres with that Barbados green paint? Looks so cool.
It's not a bad run. It's a good run there for Andy Fenson. In fact, just got the business done. Very impressive car and a good number for him. The VL, he did get up and gone, but took a little time just to get out of the hole. No hassle though. The thing didn't really play up. It did everything it was supposed to do. And the quality, honestly, if we're even adding up the Holdens this morning, like we've got a big Holden bunch. I noticed that. We should start writing down what we're seeing because we've got a lot of Holden.
There's a lot of Holdens, that's right. Had some very, very tough Fords as well. A couple of really tough fair lanes and a couple of, well, we had at least one Mustang, a few other ones as well, XYs, XWs.
We've got such a rolling museum, and it's so good these guys continue to build these cars and race them. Now, I don't have the name of our gentleman with the Rev 202 Tirana, but we know it is a stout car. Super stout six-banger on board. Ben Taylor beside in that immaculate EJ. Oh, it even picked the wheel up there, did the little six-banger. I mean, when I mean picked it up, that left-hand front did not rotate when he took off. He took off and the left-hand wheel had not rotated for about, I don't know, 6 feet, and then it came down. And that's a good number there for the six-banger.
That's pretty good for no prep.
I know. Well, I do think initially when you have a look at it, it's had an initial prep, and that's what we're going to deal with. So we've done a prep, and now there will be no more prep, I would say.
Well,
only clean-up, you would think.
Yeah, nice and early this morning, and there was no prepping going on. So if any prepping happened, it happened probably yesterday, maybe.
Yes, it looks like it's in pretty good nick. So let's just say it's had an initial Junga treatment. And then what it's got, and some guys are loving it. Sean Matthews with a 1-tonner with really no weight on the back of it, just loved that start line. Loved that start line. Even with this piece of paper, I just wish I could slide it one piece down so I could see the 60s. Can we give 60s out? Could we give 60-footers out? Oh, okay. All right.
They're pretty strict on us. They're pretty strict.
Okay, well, I'll stick to the rules of the house, and that is I won't even give away 60s. Some of them are pretty good. Here we go. for Jason LeGrand in that HZ. Geez, it gets up and goes when it's time and really finishes the run off nicely. No entry details for our tower lane just for that run, but boy, impressive stuff to see. Some of these things are working straight off the bat.
Yeah, and certainly, as you said, some of these cars straight off the bat, straight out of the hole, getting some good runs in, and then other cars you see, they're kind of moving around a fair bit, spinning tyres, things like that. And that sometimes comes down to, you know, a lot of different factors, of course, the car itself, but also, you know, how often the drivers get to race at this particular track as well. So
Terry Mansfield French with a big block Ford on board the Fairlane wagon. Good run from beginning to end. The HQ for Paul Stetsovich. None too shabby either. Geez, even just our HQ lineup already. It's like, you know, back in the day, you'd see in the 70s, you'd see a HQ every 2 minutes in traffic. Now you'd see a HQ every 2 months. And even then, you may not.
unless
Let alone an XW or XY Falcon. When do you see them? I mean, we're different. We hang in different circles. We see a few more than the average punter. But geez, isn't it amazing the effect these cars have on the average punter when they see them? They just get blown away now. So the order.
about it, as you said,
Yeah.
we run in.
Yeah, even when the Chevys turn up like this. Look at this. So, you know, your well, of course, your car's for sale down there. There's at the 52 Chev, is it? And of course, like, that just snaps necks everywhere you go in it, doesn't it?
It's not fast, but it impresses in other areas, I guess you'd say. It's a one of one.
Well, it definitely, when the average member of the public sees those cars on the road, they get blown away. They look twice, they look 3 times, their jaws drop. And I love the effect that these cars have on Joe Public. James Gardner now. Oh, James has got plenty at the 57. Still spins the tyres. What about Leon Bryce and the Camaro? Same deal, but you know what? They all get sorted a little bit further out, and then they really hammer from there. So this is just great to see the performance of these vehicles. Some of them you see earlier in the run than others. So these are a couple of guys in the budget radial class today. Of course, budget radial brought to us by Pro Street Radials. It's how good you can go on a budget radial. So no flash,
Fancy.
no super flash tyres on the back.
Thompson's, no Hoosiers.
I'd love to actually turn that into a show us your receipt. Or imagine if we got a tyre sponsor, a control tyre. A control tyre.
Budget rental.
Yeah, but yeah.
Pro Street Radio.
Yeah, we should have a control tyre. Look, mind you, look at Nick Owen here. I call this the Prime Minister's car because I'm sure Billy McMahon would have loved this in the day as his vehicle. Very good run for him. And look, the Nova, just a few issues on the run, but obviously the conditions for some of these guys is not ideal. They have to adapt themselves either through the right foot or they're in under the bonnet doing a few tweaks. Look at this thing. This guy might just... Who's driving this today? Is it back to Sengi driving this? I know Kevy had a go at this. Kevy's had a steer of this, but... No, Kevy's in Sydney. Apparently there's an event on down in Sydney.
Abu Dhabi, Sydney, similar.
Abu Dhabi, Sydney, Warwick. So this will be Sengi driving, of course, Jason Seng. And Nathan Peters, of course, quick 66. The turbo Barra powered VC Valiant. VCs are one of my favourite Valiants. There was a racer called Pete Smith, of course, with the V6. That caused my love of the VC. Caused my love of the VC Valiant.
Valiant man, I've had one myself in the past. My dad had a couple when I was growing up, and as you said, the VCs, they are one of the better Valiants. They are. I mean, they're all pretty cool, but the VCs, they.
Oh, it sold me, that blown and injected V6, massive wheel stands, doing everything a Valiant you wouldn't expect to do. That just made this model come alive for me. Now look, Nathan's sitting in the water. Sengi's done the big skid. Now this is one cranky, angry LS on board. But he is also, let's just see how well he's got his setup here, because on a super sticky Kenda sort of style track, he's able to run this thing right on 550s over the 8. So let's see what Sengi does here. He's in the bracket radial class, budget radial rather. He's actually in that BSR budget radial. Now that's not the leave he would have expected to go on. We know how hard that thing hits normally, but it just didn't want to hit that hard this time. So whether or not there's issue with the trans brake or whatever, but you can hear it go to the 2-step, but then it didn't want to sort of come out under any sort of force. So that's interesting. Nathan Peters gets pushed back, so that's interesting.
Looks like Nathan Peters actually got that car running. He didn't get it running in time. But looks like I would say he'll be back very shortly. He's still in the car and it is running. Oh no, driving it away.
Okay.
They might have a leak.
Go and check on it, not behaving itself. But here we go. This HQ, oof.
Look at that.
Yeah, just that white roof, the red paint, the gold wheels. Eric Witt, when's the last time you've seen, like, what is that, ZL? Oh, well, hang on, they had ZL Fairlane, so what was that? That was another abbreviation for that model Fairlane, sort of the EL shape, but the Fairlane. NL? NL.
Sure, but as you said, you just don't see those things anymore.
NL Fairlane. As you can see, they're getting hard to find the door trims for them, the door garnishes. I used to know the part numbers of those off by heart when I worked for Ford. I was there when these things were big. Hey, tell you what, they both didn't mind that start line. They both didn't mind that at all. Yes, judging by what I just saw there, they didn't mind at all that start line. They pretty decent runs from the naked eye here. Here we go. I saw them on the entry form. I saw the Coles boys are coming up for a bit of Warwick Junga Bunga, and this thing. So Steve Tolley back at the VL trying the other lane now, but it's Brent Coles. Well, haven't they driven the hell out of this thing since they finished it at spot on? Of course, Brent's a rotary nut, but he said, I want something with a bit more fun. I can use it a lot more. Good horsepower. So, of course, it's got an LSA in an RX-8. It is an absolute treat to see this thing inside and out. You want to see, again, a rolling showcase of what Spot On does day to day, week after week, month after month. And of course, a big shout out to, of course, Tony, who's basically put his hands over the whole car. Of course, Tony from Spot On. The pipes, the build, like the exhaust system even is super impressive. Brent loves just driving the hell out of this thing, and I think it'll be good in the if he's in the budget radial class. They're just having a quick look underneath. All good. Of course, Pete on the start line here this weekend. Pete is one of the firmest and fairest start line guys. If there's something leaking, he'll tell you about it. You'll believe it. Yeah, just got it out of the hole, and yeah, look, not a bad run to walk it out. It didn't really hit the tyre as hard as you would think.
Don't those guys at Spot On Performance do a great job? I used to work at Right Price Exhaust there and drop off exhaust bits and pieces occasionally. I'd go for a bit of a wander through the workshop and check out all the amazing stuff they were working on. And yeah, they do an awesome job. And now we're moving into some bike action. We got Carl Pacey and Jason White out there on the two-wheelers. Carl Pacey and Jason White. So a little bit of bike action coming at you. We've got screens going left, right and centre up here in the control tower. We've got all the action from... Whoa, look at that. Oh, I shouldn't be looking at that. That's... So we got a screen up here with the action from the Nitro Champs in Sydney, and there's some exciting things happening there. But not as exciting as here at Warwick Dragway. Jason White out in front as they cross the finish line. As you know, I can't tell you what the times were, but Jason White takes the win there. I can tell you just over half a second was the difference. And back into the cars, we got this beautiful HQ of Heath Lepsaneth. Okay, folks, if you're on Street Tyre, bring your car up to the staging lanes. We're looking for some Street Tyre cars into the staging lanes, please. Street Tyre up to the staging lanes. Apparently we ain't getting enough of yous. So that's repeating that, Street Tyre to the staging lanes, please. Street Tyre to the staging lanes. As we move through this session of practice, so testing, we call it test hits here at, of course, Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days number 4. This is the 4th time we've run it. That's why we call it number 4. Pretty logical. Solo pass there for the white ute of Warren Bradford. Actually, we have bare staging lanes at the moment. As I said before, Street Tyre. We want you guys to the staging lanes. Street Tyre. Brought to us today by Queens Road Paint and Panel, and it looks like it is the Queens Road Paint and Panel Falcon first up in the staging lane. So he's pretty keen to get out there and get amongst it. Followed him up today from Arachula all the way through to Warwick. I took a bit of a turn off to see if it would be a little bit quicker, but I ended up coming out back onto right behind him, so it's exactly the same. Just let you know, if you're going to come from that way and you go up Freestone Road, it's exactly the same as if you go around. So I did get stuck behind some motorbikes, strangely enough, doing 70 in 100 zone. Like motorbikes, like they're supposed to be maniacs. I was very ashamed of them. They were doing 70, like about half a dozen of them doing 70 in the 100 zone. I was pretty cranky. But yeah, so just waiting for the Street Tyre guys and girls to come into the staging lanes, thanks to Queens Road Paint and Panel. And we'll be getting back underway, as I said, with Street Tyre. Plenty of great action so far already here at Warwick Dragway for the Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days number 4. And there's been some really close racing, some really good times run, but we're not going to tell you about that. We'll get our butts kicked if we tell you about those times, but you all know, you'll know what you ran. You'll get your own time slip. So that's the way we run it. We give you your time slip. We don't give you your competitor's time slip as we normally do. So nobody knows what everyone else is running unless, of course, they go and tell each other, and that's possible. But I guess it depends on how serious you're going to be. But yeah, we're not giving out any times today. So keep everything even and keep it under the hat. But yeah, no, some great action already happening here today. As I said earlier, some of these cars straight down the track, nice and straight, plenty of traction. Then other cars, yeah, not so much. But that's the way it goes. And that's what no prep is all about, isn't it? No prep on the track, of course, and then basically each driver, each car has to work out how to get down the track. And that is the absolute excitement and the attraction of no prep, actually. So, and then you throw some cash into the equation, mate, makes it hard to beat. Okay, so we've got Street Tyre in the staging lanes, Small Tyre and Big Tyre will be shortly, so we don't need you there quite yet, but we'll be getting you out very, very shortly if you want to get ready. Street Tyre there now, and Small Tyre and Big Tyre very shortly, so we'll let you know exactly when, but certainly get ready to go. And yeah, we've got a good contingent of the Street Tyre cars there in the staging lanes, brought to us by Queens Road Paint and Panel. Thank you very much to Queens Road Paint and Panel for sponsoring that Street Tyre class. And of course, thanks to all our sponsors. We've got Hillman Race Components, we've got Viking Metalcraft, Pro Street Radials, Unreal Plates, and of course, we've already mentioned Queens Road Paint and Panel. Of course, don't forget too, our lane sponsors. We've got Pro Street Radials again over there in the right-hand lane, and Golby's Parts and Fabrication here in the control tower side lane. That is the left lane, depending on which way you want to look at it. Always wondered, you know, if people are further down the track in the grandstands and looking back up, do they get confused when we say right lane, left lane? I hope not, because heard something very strange over the radio just now. It was Brian claiming he's not a lunatic. I would argue. But he loves it. He loves it. Look at all those races champing at the bits. Oh, look at that. We've got a Sigma with a 6-cylinder in it. Air cleaner poking up through the left-hand side of the bonnet, or the right-hand side if you're looking at it from the front. Passenger side, let's just say. And pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. And of course, plenty of other great-looking cars down there. Don't forget too, folks, Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days merchandise available down there near the canteen under the marquee there, so plenty of great stuff. Final call for Street Tyres into the staging lanes. We are about to get underway here at Warwick Dragway. So Street Tyre, you should be in the staging lanes, and if you're not, get your butt there very, very quickly. We are about to get underway with Queens Road Paint and Panel Street Tyre. Going to be an absolute cracker. As I was saying...
Sorry there, bro.
For the Junga Bunga No Prep Cash Days.
Sorry, mate. You know, sometimes when a phone call comes, you just got to quickly take it, especially when you rung someone before you came up and then they ring back, and it's like sometimes you just got to take it because you don't know when you're going to get that bloke next time. But big shout out to everyone that's watching all over, not only the venue here, but all over the world with the live stream. And watching from Mackay here, so we've got ACT JM3 watching from Work in Mackay. Thanks for the feed. Andrew, thank you for that. We've got Guzman73 asked, good question, is the Hoff running today? And a lot of people would have been interested to know whether he was going to turn up, because the guy's been on a tear for the no prep stuff. The word is, I asked him during the week, and the hot word from the Hoff is no, he's not. He's got some Saturday morning dyno tuning to do, so work's coming over play at the moment. And look at that coming in through the gates right now. Brett Benz in his LSA powered VL. So Benzie has brought Goldie 2.0 up from home. And I don't know whether Benzie's going to come and have a run or not, but he certainly turned up to come and have a look. We swapped places here, didn't we? How's that? That worked out well. No, well, okay, let's try it. Let's try swapping back over here.
You were comfortable there. You looked like you were very comfortable, so I'm happy to swap.
Big shout out to Andrew watching on the live stream as well. Okay, so no details on the Sigma. Halfway up the range, this thing had pulled over, maybe a bit hot, or I don't know what it was, but I yelled out, "Are you okay?" and they said they're all good. I think it's a red motor in that Sigma.
especially going by the number plates, the good old 202.
And that might even be an old Adam Reeves car. Shout out to Adam. I think, well, I remember the Pig 202 plates. And you don't see too many Sigmas these days. Again, we've got this rolling museum that keeps turning up here at Warwick.
I actually can't remember the last time I saw a Sigma on the road.
It's been a while. On occasions they pop up, but again, very rare. Rarer than the HQ, this is the Sigma. Kevin Brown out there, Kevy now, Kevy Brown engines, and Adam Wren in that beautiful XC, the big XC Falcon. All having a crack, trying to light it up. It's a good old pedal. That's what I love. This is what I love. This is what makes the races so tight later on today, is that you've got to fight to get to that 660 with the prep that's been given. And Kevy's got plenty.
Yes, and that's the thing, you know, it's a little bit of a leveler as well, the no prep days, because you know you can have as much horsepower as you want.
Oh, here we go. Nice big skid from Ross Costello. Ross might have had a pretty busy week this week. You know, you can always tell when a bloke's had a big week at work. The first burnout back on the weekend is a big one to go, oh, I've had a big week. I'm going to let it rip. And why wouldn't you? And check this out. Sam Owen. I've owned one of these little sunnies. I wish, like every Datsun I've ever owned, maybe there's a 180B or two which I could say I don't want back, but I had a little sunny like this, and I cry that I paid, I think, $400 for it, and I got my money back on it, which back then was a miracle. You know what I mean? Well, someone told me one day, there was a 120Y, you know when you go to the car washes and you look next door and this guy was washing this whole rally car 120Y, and it had a 200B motor in it. I said, how'd you put that in? He goes, you use a stanza cross member, and it gives you all the mounts, and it literally bolts in. So out the front of a place I was working, I had this Sunny with an auto, and I grafted the 200B motor in there with the stanza cross member, all bolted up, and that thing was actually quite a swift little beast up to about 60, 80k an hour. I used to foot brake the hell out of a lot of people in it. Yeah, I had the opportunity to buy it back, but, you know, kids and whatever, and just no room for a little car like this. And I do regret it, because they are now all over the world. Any chrome bumper JDM car from the 70s, 80s and so on are just so hard to get in good nick. And Sam Owen, another little rolling piece of automotive history, and a cute little thing too, honestly. No one would ever say that Datsun's not an appealing little car. It does look like a small scaled Stanza, doesn't it? The little Sunny.
My old man's one was silver, and it was one of the hatchbacks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Was it the hatchback?
Yeah, but the thing I most remember about it though was that the dash lights went out in it, so he duct taped a torch onto the steering column.
Oh, so he could read the dash lights. Yeah, that stuff wouldn't surprise me.
That's the sort of thing you did back then, I guess.
Some of the electrics, yeah, license plate Dat Boy. Yeah, so I do like that. There was a shirt I bought my brothers, because we've all been Datsun, the whole family. There was a shirt where it said, instead of Batman, it said Datman, but it had the Datsun sort of badge logo in the background. So may they live forever. May the Datsuns, like the Holdens and the Fords, may they all live forever. They deserve to, because, you know, one thing about selling them here in Australia, not only did we sell them on the showrooms, but, you know, some place called Mount Panorama, you'd see these things all dressed up for war, and they'd face the mountain like all the big V8s. Yeah,
there was certainly plenty of them.
Plenty of mums got these as probably the first car, and plenty of grannies. But when you look at one here with a little bit of stance about it, you don't know what the hell's packing. I'll be looking for this thing in the pits, or if someone can come and tell us what it's packing. Someone on the live stream or whatever might be able to tell us if they know the little Sunny, what it might have in it. We'd love to know, to tell everyone about it, or definitely get to the pits. Because you don't know, mate. Could be an SR, could be an A series, could be the original A series pushrod engine, which were tough things. And you know, there's one place I found in the world of YouTube drag racing that still races the hell out of the Datsuns like we do. South Africa. So and pardon me for using the accent, but in South Africa, someone has just broken the 9-second zone for an A series Nissan engine. So like an A14, A15 push rod, just cracked the 9s in South Africa. This has got an SR20 in it. Thank you, Dave. So the SR on board for this one. But yes, just recently in South Africa, they are using the push rod engine, a hell of a lot of boost, and it's just run a 9 in a Datsun 1200 utility. It's very hard to do that in South Africa, let alone anywhere in the world, yeah. But yeah, very impressive. I can't shake the accent. Actually, I purchased a car. Actually, this year, I purchased a car for a gentleman that spoke exactly like this. The car has been meticulously serviced every 5,000 kilometres. And then, you know what he said as I was taking the car from him? He goes, "Now, you look after my boy now." That's what he said. And every time I hop in the car, I think of this guy. He was an old gentleman, and he's been working on Fords his entire life. And of course, when you own a Ford, you have to work on them your entire life. But he was, get out of that one. But yeah, no, again, some of the info that you find when you're, because again, it comes down to having the right YouTuber, a guy that's just there, takes on a bit more content, and he wants to actually share the content. So I forget, I'll find the YouTube channel that this guy is, but they do have these kind of no prep events, like on a runway in South Africa. Yeah, mate, it is so hard sometimes. It's so hard.
I've got quite a few people that I know that are South African as well. So, but I can't do the accent as well as you can. I give it a crack, but I'm not as good as you. You've got it nailed.
Well, it also helps that sometimes you might have worked with someone and you hear the accent every day, or. So here's a little message that's come through my phone. So Andy from Spot On, him and Captain Risky. So that means he's driving a yellow VL today, Andy Coles. And Captain Risky, first Grudge race of the meet, 500 for the win. So there's a little $500 match race going to come up. Like first time they hit the track, there's a $500 match race.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? The cash days part of the Junga Bunga No Prep cash days.
Yes, you're encouraged to pick someone and race them, and you can put a bounty on it. So there we go. Andy Coles and Captain Risky, of course, Ryan Holtz.
That's tax-free too.
Well, it is up here, yeah. If you don't leave the property, you can't attract the tax.
Spend the 500 here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if we drag race with the ATO, that'd be a $550 bounty, yeah. And you'd have the GST down the bottom of it. Here we go, GTR Skyline, you're thinking a perfect environment for no prep, that four-wheel drive. James Coleman gets the R32 through, and Kyle Magna beside him. Oh, are you... Okay, public service announcement for all competitors. All competitors, if you've got aircon and you're using car aircon, please refrain from using it. No aircon, please, on the cars, because of the condensation. So we do not want the aircon dripping, so no aircon, please, people. Do not use aircon. As much as this is a recreational motorsport type of thing, it's not needing to be comfortable. Sometimes recreation is not comfortable. Who's that? That's the blowing Camaro. Yeah, so hang on to your hats, folks. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here. Baden Trapnell now and Cameron Hunt. Baden, the Trappy family. The family that races together, stays together and keeps racing. Baden now to have his Junga Bunga No Prep debut. Cameron Hunt, I think in the VZ Commodore. So all competitors, make sure you keep your air cons off. What's that? Big. Did he say small tyre and big tyre? Small tyre, big tyre, small tyre, big tyre to the lanes, please. Small tyre, big tyre to the lanes, please.
Small tyre brought to us by Viking Metal Craft, and big tyre brought to us by Hillman Race Components. You guys and girls head up to the staging lanes, please, straight away.
We need to check that car that's just let out a heap of smoke down there.
All right, just going for a quick look there, just in case we might have had anything more than just smoke down the end there. So Junga's gone for a hit on the quad. It's got another screen up here watching an event. There's a drag event happening in Sydney at the moment, and there's cars going all over the track, taking out 5 centreline cones and.
Delays down there.
Times not.
There we go. So they are picking up their ETs, but no one else is seeing them. Not even us. There's a big piece of paper across our screen. So not even, I mean, I've looked under it a few times just to have a look, just to see how we're rolling. Some people don't have to worry about smashing the 700. There's a good few, 4 or 5 tenths there that they are on the safe side. A few, I've seen a couple under that. So they're going to have to be careful, because if the wind light goes in the opposite lane and they're in front, you'll know that later on that 700 has been eclipsed. Street Tyre is brought to us by Queens Road Paint and Panel. Hard tyres only, must be 200 tread wear or higher. Heads up instant green. So that street tyre class will be an interesting class as well. And you can see, like out there in the water now, we've got the GDIR Pulsar and the VL, one of the several VLs we got here this weekend, with that ST logo on the door, on the window rather, meaning that they are in that hard tyre only deal. And as you can see, pretty much full street tyre. Of course, our budget radial is there's a variety of different tyres out there, including our PSR tyres, that are amazing hooking up on the street or on a no prep environment. But then you've got literally the street tyre class. We should call it street. We should actually, instead of calling it street tyre, we should, no, is it street tyres? No, street tyres, mate. Maybe we could have pro trailer tyres. Trailer tyres.
Yeah, that's what we need, trailer tyres.
Just a trailer tyre hookup.
You've got to bring your trailer.
Yeah. Put them on there. That'd be a good deal. All right, so no entry details on our VL at the moment. However, it says here Mick Allen. Hang on. Hold the phone. We need to clear the switch. Can we clear the switch on the line? The boys just have to come back a bit. They haven't gone in yet, have they?
Apparently the switch is right. It's not left.
It's got the switch. It was you all the time. I didn't tell anyone who it was. Miss Allen? Yeah. But have a look at the GDIR Pulsar. Get out like a scalded cat. Not a bad 60 foot, but we can't tell you. And not a bad ET, and we can't tell you. All we can say is that keep an eye out for that little four-wheel drive Pulsar later. Yes, I don't know what mode this is, honestly. Mark Schwartz, handful, one of the more iconic Street Machine beasts. I mean, is it a burnout car? Is it a show car? It's an everything car. It literally is anything you want it to be. He can have the blower off it sometimes. He can have it on for show. He's got it all. He's just walking on the big rims. There's Mark. Oh, Mark. Just tiptoes it down. And what I mean tiptoes, sachet. I'd call it more of a sachet on the way down. It was a sachet.
Living up to the number plates, that's for sure.
And not a sachet that you get when you get your cup of noodles. Not that sort of sachet. It was more of a sachet. More of a sachet, yes.
The new way of pronouncing it.
A sachet, yeah, a sachet. Different to what you put on your noodles. Or like me last time, I got some. I got a sachet and I put it on the noodles, and then I did the jug. And then about 3 minutes later, I came back, and as I mix it up, another sachet appeared from underneath the noodles that hadn't been opened yet. Their little joke. I reckon when they're assembling those on the assembly line, one goes, "I'm going to hide this one under it." Yeah, okay, so there's a big match race coming up next run here between Captain Risky and Colsey for 500. But out there now, Brett Wilshire. Bretty has been around tough forwards for a long time. Look at this one. Damien Boyce. Well, this is before Boyce got, of course, the Nova. He had this thing, got the taste for it, and it's back. The XT, I think, from memory. Is it XT or XR? I think Turbo Barra on board. Trying to hook them up, trying to both hook them up. Now they've got it hooked up. Now they go to the 660. What a good run between the two of them. Yeah, great one. And very similar in ETs, but we can't tell you.
Nice and close.
All right, now this is a 500. Now this he's already told me. Now, so this is as good as information as I'm going to get. When the guy in the VL sends me a text and says to me, this race is for $500 between me and Captain Risky. So that would be Ryan Holtz in the, what are we, a K or a G? G? T? KTG? One of those. The Holden versus the VL Commodore. And this is RB powered. Oh, Captain Risky's ready to go. Normally, of course, also got that 6-second 2JZ powered LC GTR. But here he is with the Streeter, Colsey with the VL. So here we go, $500 for this little match race. It's going to be a bit of a pedal fest, but they thought they'd throw 500 in there. I suppose the guy that loses can probably rematch him and throw the 500, try and go lose 1,000, or the guy that wins 500 can put 500 back up again to try and have a rematch. Let's see how they go. Oh, instant green, instant green. Oh, Colsey's got too much. Colsey's got too much. Ryan, oh no, Ryan. And yeah, that's a, can you get a rerun on that? Would Andy go for a rerun, or is he going to take the 500 right there? He's going to take the 500 right there. I don't think. Ryan's thing had a big gulp of something. It wasn't ready for the instant green or whatever. Andy, it got out okay. It wasn't super hard off the line, but off it went. And if that was the $500 match race, well, we'd want it tighter than that for $500. Here's a bloke up here. He's someone needs an MSD 6AL2. So if anyone can handle help with a 6AL2 programmable, which car is it, mate? What colour's the HT Ute? White HT Ute. Right, so white HT at the back of the pits here. White HT Ute. Down the end of the road, just down the back of the staging lane. So if someone can help with a 6AL2 programmable, come and go down and see the guys with the Utes. So you know it's that thing, eh? You know it's crapped itself. Damn it. I've got one in Brisbane. I do. I've got exactly that one in Brisbane.
Whereabouts in Brisbane?
It's... well, do you want to program it? It's got to be programmable. Yeah, no, well, mine's... To find it would mean I'd have to... And no one's home, and I could get the dog to look for it, but yeah, no. So we'll see if someone can help with a 6AL2 programmable. Gentleman in the white HT Ute at the back of the lanes here, is it? Ganelli pointed out to us there. Where is it?
Past a red staging sign on the right.
Oh, okay. You're just in behind just at the back of the staging lane near the red sign there. All right.
Number plates, Helmont.
There we go. Well, that's not a good way to start the day. A 6AL2 programmable. We need someone to help out with that, please. Either come to the tower or go down and see him at the back of the lanes.
Obviously a lot smarter than me. HJ years weeks to figure out why the car wouldn't start.
Look, there's one thing I could recommend to him, because, I mean, it's hard. Sometimes you just don't believe it should be the MSD that's crapped itself, and the only way you can go further is to try another one. Now, one thing that I found when I thought that my 6AL had crapped itself, it was the reluctor in the Dizzy. Steve Carkeet, now that thing hooked up. Luke Page, well, Luke's got the street car hooked up too. Look at this good race to the stripe. Can we even get a true win? Are we even getting true win? Because I can't see. Was it the Falcon there? I'm looking for something to light up on the display boards there, at least with who gets there. Oh, there we go. So Luke Page did come past Steve Carkeet. Here we go. Bit of big tyre action here. Brian Thomas from Tamworth. Mackenzie Garside, she's going to have a go of the Tirana now. So I think father-daughter, I think. Mackenzie's normally, I would assume, a girl's name predominantly. I would hope that I am not calling Mackenzie, you know, the wrong gender. You never know. Maybe, normally Mackenzie you would assume would be a girl. And of course there's that guy from Home Alone, Mackenzie Culkin. Yeah. So that was the only other exception I can think of. But yeah, that might be Mackenzie now. She's had a go at this thing before. Brian Thomas, anything's possible here with this Camaro on the big tyre. Oh, hey! Oh boy, that thing's too quick. That thing is too quick. Do you hand the bloke the money now? Holy dooly, Brian Thomas. That thing made the most impressive run we've seen today, without a doubt. Big tyre. Mind you, have a look. It's almost like it's the twin, because that was Brian Thomas with better bar. This is Caleb Thomas now. Greg Trapnell, of course, there we go, the famous international Greg Trapnell. This car has definitely seen... Oh, boy. Oh, geez, that's not a handful. That's Trappy. Caleb Thomas, well, plenty of limiter there in the burnout. I hope the thing's still alive. That was a lot of revs in the burnout. I do believe one of his first ever meetings in the car. It's fired up again now, but yeah, tell you what, didn't that thing buzz in the water? Oh, nice dry hop there. Now that's good, Caleb. I reckon just put that thing in the beams. Wow, Greg Trapnell, yes, of course, done drag week in the United States with this car. Never, actually at one stage there, didn't think he was ever going to get the thing back home through something to do with customs or immigration. Not immigration, it's not like a HQ needs diplomatic immunity, does it? It's not like you need diplomatic immunity for a HQ coupe. Who knows? But anyway, I know that Caleb Thomas, it might just fly off the line here. So let's just see what he does here. Oh, Trappy might have a bit of NOS on board. The Kiwi works very well off the line too. Oh, Caleb Thomas. Have a look at that. And you know what? Within a tenth of the purple car. And not the HQ beside him, but of course Brian. And for Trappy off the line as well. Jeez. That's impressive. That is impressive. There are some of our big tyre cars that have run. I don't know, Trappy still might be on a small tyre, or whether he's in the big tyre area. Jaden Leeson now and Shane Baker. Well, yeah, Shane, this is the home track. Literally drives the thing here. As we said, this thing has run over the quarter mile in 7 seconds. It's run over the 8th mile in the low 5s and still runs the Magic Hold'em 308 based engine, 355 I think. Buster Leeson, Jaden there. Jaden, this little Toyota Corolla that he's fabricated himself. and getting pushed back just at the moment. He was in the small tyre class, should be in the small car class. Tiny little KE10. Yeah, small block on board, gorgeous little car. But here we go, let's try Bakes. He's done all right off the start line, 60-footer, nothing too flash, and not a bad run, actually, very impressive run, Phil.
Yes. Yeah, the microphone is working, but apparently very, very quiet. It's okay now. Okay, cool. Maybe I was just whispering.
What tweaks did you just do to do that?
Voiced and made a few little adjustments.
It's amazing why you got the feeler gauges out for that, but it seemed to have worked. Huge shout out to all the guys involved in the live stream and all the sponsors. Someone asked me what time did the quad run. Someone asked for a Chinese accent. Someone also said that was a very African a really accurate South African accent. Oh well, let's see.
I'm nowhere near as good as yours.
Someone's asking for a Chinese accent, so I'll just.
My best South African is the old. A grudge is just a place to park your car.
I can't believe it. It's Tony Gregg, yeah. A grudge. I don't want to hold a grudge. Well, I'll tell you what, a few of them have lined up here. Some of our small tyre and big tyre cars. You're in for a treat, folks, because we've got a nice bunch of them lined up in the lanes. Lee Dark. This is almost the Kevin Rudd limousine. Like, if Ruddy had a chance, this should have been Kevin Rudd's limo. I mean, I've got a list of cars that I've seen for nearly every Australian Prime Minister. This would be Ruddy's, you know. It should have that paintwork on it. It should have the Aussie flag on it. Yes, it should be tubbed. And as I said, by the year 2033, no Australian household should be without an 11-second car in the garage. That'd be my Prime Minister promise. Well, you know what, the way to cheat that system is everyone gets Tesla 3s, but imagine that if everyone goes, I'll vote for you, I want an 11-second car, and then a Tesla turns up. Yeah, I wish I had a choice. Yeah, 1-2 wonder. Ismet Vojic beside him in the hatchback. Izzy with this car, very impressive point A to point B. I've seen the point A and I've seen the point B, and it's very impressive. All I can tell you, they had a 5 attached somewhere in there. Okay, and I shouldn't be giving you that much info, but I just can't help sharing. There we go. Big shout out to Mick Apps. He's watching here. He's got the refreshments out.
That's awesome to see.
I just had a bit of info brought to us here, probably by Sharon or Brad. Of course, the two Thomas boys are actually leading down in Sydney. The Power Crew Snow Prep or Street Outlaws down there. They still do the list, and they're both at the top. Chris Carsberg, Matt Coleman. Well, is this sketch? Because wasn't this yellow? Hasn't this got the turbo at the back of this wagon? I'm sure it is. He's got some weird attachment off the back of the tow bar here.
Change the colour.
I'm sure that's Sketch Coleman. Chris Carsberg, that Turbo LS Tirana from Warwick as well. He's in the small tyre class. What does the first run look like for him? Not bad for Carsberg. Walks it off the line, and a very impressive run for him. But yeah, the wagon just sort of hesitated and rolled off about 100 foot out. But Carsberg power all the way to the end. Let me tell you, it went over 130. Again, I'm giving you tiny clues. It's not enough. It's a jigsaw puzzle. You just don't know what the jigsaw puzzle looks like at the end. Oh, they keep coming. And I was just about to look at this other Hilux, and before I realised there was a Hilux here. Fat Ass Racing, is that Neil Grayson? I know Neil had the car for years. It's still got... And it was a... this Hilux, it was yellow as well. But if that is Neil Grayson, I still see the Fat Ass Racing shirt out there of the crew, and that was Neil Grayson back in the day, Fat Ass Racing. Tony Gooderham, well, he can be Angry Bee Racing, El Squirrel, he could be Blue Swift, which I saw up there before. If the real Blue Swift can quickly put us a message here now, we can get rid of that rumour that that's Tony. Now, what's he got in there? A bit of a belt. He's lost a bit of a belt. Does he need it? Is he going to still go for a run? Now, this is 13V turbo, clutchless gearbox, tiny wheelbase. It'd be 79 inches of wheelbase at the max. And look at where the wheelie bars are. He's out here to try and take a few scalps. I don't know whether he's in, did I see what's written on the side? Is he big tyre or small tyre?
Sun's in the wrong spot at the moment.
Because he could have a 28 10.5 and be in small tyre, or if he's a little bit bigger slick, he'll be in Hillman Race Components big tyre. Oh, I tell you what, he doesn't mind it, Tony Gooderham. He doesn't mind it at all. Oh, the ET's impressive too, but I can't tell you. But that's a very good run for the little Swift, and you know what, the Hilux no slouch either.
Yeah, no, that was good passes both sides of the track that time.
Very. Oh, hold on to your hats. It just gets better and better and better. When he got Pat Shaw in the... He's in small tyre, so El Squirrel is a small tyre. I'm the real Blue Swift, okay, so it can't be Tony, he's the other Blue Swift. So the Blue Swift that raced now, and then Mr. Blue Swift he's the real deal. Patrick Shaw, a turbo, you would assume LS, I don't know what he's got under the hood, but I can tell you, Goldie 2.0 over there, Brett Benz, Warwick Paint and Panel, or Panel and Paint. So that's Benzie, and of course local Warwick legend. Now it is almost a twin to the turbo small block radial car, the 6-second car. This is the, I'll go for a cruise LSA version.
Turbo for some chips.
Now let's just see what it might run here, old Goldie, 2.0. Just giving it a nice little hit, just one point A to point B. Obviously Pat Shaw, so much power that, you know, the initial first delivery of it really reminded him how much horsepower he's got. And you know what? A nice bunch of ETs there with not all the performance wound into it, but we know how much that car probably can have. And we only got a slight taste of it there. And for Benzie, well, again, he used a lot of right foot there, a lot of right foot traction control, because that thing, if you do stand on it, you know, it's an LSA in it. It's gonna tell you what it's doing. It's no slouch, but not. What's that? What'd you see? Oh, hold the phone. I think it's an Avenger. No, it's an Avenger. It'll be an Avenger. Yeah. Yeah, this is Steve Tatum. Steve from Outlaw Exhaust. Performance Exhaust. Yeah, this is a Dodge Avenger. Big wheelbase. Oh, hang on. What was the yellow? Oh, yeah, that one. Wait till you see that one. Oh, yeah. No, well, I've spoke to them this morning. Well, I'd say those New South Wales Camaros have got a little bit of competition in the likes of Steve Tatum here.
This thing is a very tough car, very tough.
I have another Swift coming. Watch this space. There we go. So Blue Swift. So then we'll have these two Suzuki Swift race cars.
One Blue Swift 2 and maybe Blue Swift 3.
You never know. They're now a slightly more rarer car. Well, the original Swifts. Now, of course, you can still buy a Suzuki Swift now in blue, but the original little Swifts like we just saw, I think that's what he's talking about. Hopefully he's got one of those. Steve Tatum, here we go. Now, anything's possible. I've seen this thing do ripper wheel stands, like put it on the back bumper. The wheelie bars here tell me that it shouldn't get there.
Mind you, the wheelie bars do have a little bit of room to move there. He's hasn't got them set too far down.
And if it gets a little bit of climb in the pinion, there's a bit of suspension travel. So this will still get the wheels up fairly decent. Let's have a look. Now remember, Brian and Caleb went down the right lane. Steve's here in the left lane. Junga Bunga, no prep. Oh, Stevie, get off it, son.
I said nice and straight, it wasn't.
Well, it walked out there for a bit, and then, as it started to get a bit of air under it, it started to sort of, waver around. That's a very, very good ET, even with the pedal. That 60 foot, look, I'm not going to tell you exactly, but in comparison to Brian in the purple and Caleb in the black Camaro, slightly bit quicker to the 60 foot, tiny bit quicker, like 100th, only 100th quicker to the 60. So there's a few cars here that are, they're here to not muck around, let me tell you. So you're in a real treat here, folks, by turning up as part of today for the Junga Bunga no prep. Of course, Cash Day's no prep, and some of the hitters have decided to turn up. And this one for the Turbo Brigade, this will be Simon Graham steering this, I think, from memory.
Great looking car as well, the Yenko theme. So one of the iconic American muscle cars, of course, was the Yenko Camaro. And this is the theme they've gone for with this car, and it looks absolutely beautiful on the track.
All right, Simon Graham, turbo, big block on board. So this man, Simon, good mate of mine. You know why? Because he's built like proverbial, not a S-house, but a warehouse. So he's built like a brick warehouse. Yeah, not the outhouse. He's not built like a brick outhouse. He's built like a brick warehouse. So, Bunnings, more solid than that. Yeah, he's a good mate of mine. Good mate of mine, Simon, really good mate of mine.
He sounds like a great mate of mine as well.
He's turned it off to hear the
There's something going on down the track.
I thought he turned off to hear the praise.
Something.
Okay, so that's interesting. We've just he's done everything right there, done the burnout. Everything's looking stout. We saw those Camaros go down. Got my cousin Ben Vlecken messaging me saying it's hard to choose watching here or in Sydney, and my solution to you is get two televisions.
Two televisions, yeah.
Yeah, get two televisions. Watch the Junga Bunga no prep with the overtaking lane live stream, or watch the one in Sydney, and you be the judge which one's better. I can tell you already. I'm watching. We can kind of watch both here at the moment, right? So I can see that.
We've just had the suggestion you actually need 3 screens because the NHRA is on as well.
Yeah, so it's hard to choose them all. Mind you, I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I love the local content. If we're the ABC of drag racing live streams, I'm loving the local content. If you have a look at sort of what's happening sort of down south, that's not too bad. Like, it's comparable. It's not any better. It's comparable. But the NHRA, well, they love to cover it from 900 angles, of course. And
having overtaking lane Tyler up here. That's his official name, by the way, overtaking lane Tyler. He's up here in the control tower with us, so we can check out the live feed, and it is looking absolutely magnificent with all their fresh new gear they've got on board this weekend. First time out, and it is working an absolute treat. I've got to keep remembering to look out the window, and that's the actual real view. But
that's not a dream.
See them both.
It's not a dream. It's the real stuff. Good local heroes, real steel, driven by real people, real folk, and that's just amazing how many vehicles we've got, and how good's the view.
Another nice big smoky burnout.
Just watching a little bit of live stream from Sydney, and Smithy just ran. Of course, Smithy's run the Mustang up here. He's down there running a bit of pro mod on the weekend, so Smithy got a good run in. So it's all everywhere. All of our local heroes around the place. No matter where they are, somewhere on a Saturday, people are letting it rip. There's a beer in it there for you, Tyler. Beer in it there for you. All right, so there we go. Someone's given me a note here to say, shout out to Nathan Peters, needs a BA Falcon throttle body. Anyone help with a BA throttle body? Go and see the Valiant. Bump City. Whoa, it's got some down track. Simon Graham lets it rip. Oh, baby, all I can tell you, folks, is I'm not going to tell you about the 60 foot, because let's face it, that's not an impressive 60 foot from what we've seen today. It's a couple of tenths off what we've seen on the start line, but what I can still not tell you is that's the quickest ET we've seen today. What I can tell you is that's the fastest speed we've seen today.
And that's the thing, he kind of babied it off the line, and then just past the 60 foot, bang, the thing just shot off like a cut snake, as they say.
Speaking of cut snakes, have a look at this. Dave Hillman, what a car, what a car. Oh yes, you can have your slammers or whatever you got around the country all racing today, but here at Warwick, we got a fairly decent lineup of real stuff. And this thing, when do you ever see a delivery like this, a Dodge delivery? Dave Hillman, of course, sponsor of the Hillman Race Products, Race Components, big tyre. He's going to try and win his own prize money here today. Look at the tyre on it. That is just one impressive machine. It's got all the beastly proportions. Love that delivery van. Love that van. One of one. We might have a few 68 Camaros around, but there is only one Dodge delivery. Dodge Dart delivery. Well, you lean forward and then lean back. It's like you deliberately blocked me. That's all right. Here we go. Let's just see what he does here. There's only one turbo guy so far in this group. All blower guys out everywhere else. Oh, look at it. Let's just see what Dave can do. That turbo car was quick. It's making all the right noises, and look, he hit that two-step. It came off the line, and that's, you know what? That's still not a bad number, considering that I reckon it had a fair bit of power out of it on the hit there. Then it came good, then it cleared up, and it went out for a bit further. Slip, even with the slipping, that's not a bad ET. We can't tell you, but it's got so much in reserve. It is not funny, that car. And look, the 60, it wasn't a bad 60. Again, it wasn't the quickest 60. Slightly quicker than the Camaro that we just saw. Speed-wise, not as quick. ET-wise, not a bad number anyway. So there's all the clues we're going to give you, remember, because it's a no time deal. We've got ETs we can see, but we are not disclosing them. Not today, Zerg.
We're under strict orders from Matty Jungaloy. No times to be discussed.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. Can someone help Nathan Peters with a BA throttle body? I think that's what they're looking for. BA Falcon throttle body. Yeah, another big tyre car. And it's got a, I think it sounds like it's got a blowing deal on it. We'll have to look under the hood to have a look. Sounds the business. This is, it looks, when you look at it up close, it's like a, It's a scale model Camaro. It actually looks, when you look at it from the front, it's really narrow. It looks big here right now, but its proportions are quite baffling. That's
straight away, as you said, looks like a 3/4 scale or whatever, but I'm not sure if it is or not. It might be just the way the body lines go.
This is Georgie Cunningham. All right, so Brisbane Civil Racing. It did come with an SB2 style engine when they first bought it, and that kind of nice run, boys. Nice run. Nice 60. Not a bad ET. I can't tell you, but that's not bad. I can't tell you everything. Not bad all around the place, but a good place to be. Sorting a few runs out in a car like that. He's very limited seat time, and as we said, it initially came out with a pretty stout SB2 style engine, and that thing didn't stay together long. Some RPM got to it, excessive RPM got to it, and that engine probably ended up with a few valves in the wrong place. But now I think he's got an LS based engine in it, and or I don't know. He did tell me this morning. I forgot, Steve, exactly what it's got in it, but go and have a look at it when the clip's off. Here we go, Jason White and Carl Pacey. I love EFEs. I love, from the 1980s, the GS 1100 EFEs. They were actually GSX 1100 EFEs. The GS were the 8 valve, but the GSX were the 16 valve. And beautiful as an A street bike style. Jason White, well, the traditional booze is kind of the evolution, but not too many people raved about the GSX 1100 EFE when they came out. They didn't rate them as a good bike at all, but geez, they've been a good drag bike. It's got plenty down the other end there, Carl Pacey. Jason White just taking a little bit more time to get down there, but ET-wise, that EFE sounded like it had the 1, 2, 3 auto box in it too, which was a thing they could do. Big shout out to Scooter March having a watch. Is he having a watch or a listen? I didn't.
I'd say Scooter's normally on the live feed when he's not here. He's normally checking that out. He's a big supporter, so good to hear he's around, checking it out. Hopefully on the live feed, and hopefully not working.
Well, he could be. He could be. Make hay while the sun shines. And when you're in the concrete spraying business,
Sprayed on a Saturday.
No, I think a lot of people, mind you, it's like I'm in the aircon business now, and this time of year, who would want aircon? It's getting cold, but we're still putting in aircons, and I'm sure people are still getting those pools built. So sometimes you just can't get one. So you've got to send for a pool and maybe pour on a Saturday. Big shout out. Is that Mick and Jane up there in the luxury? Got the luxury limo up there. I tell you what, that's exactly what it'd feel like living in a gated community, wouldn't it? You could just run around the facility on your golf buggy. And what's on this afternoon? Well, we've got a bridge game happening in the rec room, but we've also got a drag strip. Well, I'm going to the drag strip, honestly. Maybe we need to get a VAO involved here and we can do a retirement. Honestly, if they built condos near a drag strip for retirement, I'm going to retire. I'd actually retire. I don't think, when they go, have you got enough money to retire? It's like, well, if I had the place to retire, I wouldn't probably worry about the money. Hey, Junga, can we sell some freehold title retirement villages here? Can we have a retirement village here off the drag strip? That'd be all right, wouldn't it? We'd all retire.
You could do it.
No, well, actually, I've been coughing all morning there, Junga. That Camaro. Do you don't want to know? Can we tell you a few things off air, what we've seen, or what? He doesn't mind. What do you think, Junga? What do you think? And what's the next community service announcement here?
Pull up to Performance Parts Plus. Check out the range of Aeroflow, Haltech, Sparco, TurboSmart, Mickey Thompson and heaps more. See us in store or order by phone or online for overnight shipping. Performance Parts Plus, Penari Street.
Body, a BA throttle body, quick 66, throttle body, a BA throttle body to help with the purple Valiant. Apparently that's the issue. That's why the car wouldn't run there before. They need a BA throttle body. Anyone can help with the BA throttle body on a Saturday morning in Warwick? It'd be so good if you can help out the Peters family with that purple Valiant.
Don't forget too, folks, all you...
Pull up to Performance Parts Plus. Check out the range of Aeroflow, Haltech, Sparko, TurboSmart, Mickey Thompson and heaps more. See us in store or order by phone or online for overnight shipping. Performance Parts Plus, Panari Street.
Check, check. Check, check. No, that's all right. This one takes a couple of seconds. It sounds like it just has a couple of seconds when it goes on and off when we pause. I thought those chips for other people. I saw Junga walking over with them. I'm not going to steal them in case he's got them for some of his other crew. And then I turn up back here. It's like, how long have these been here? I better hook into them. But just another shout out. So if anyone can help with a BA throttle body for Nathan Peters, the car literally needs a new BA Falcon 6-cylinder throttle body. Luke Page, actually. Luke, is that something you might have laying around and spare or whatever? Also, the gentleman that had the 6AL2 programmable MSD reckons that it might be all right now, but he needs a coil lead. So he needs a coil lead. So if you can help with a coil lead, and it's dimple each side. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you've got the terminal. So it needs to go basically spark plug each end. If anyone can help with the coil lead, same gentleman with the white HTU.
Rowan Ward and Randall Moore there. Win does go to Rowan in the Golby's Parts and Fabrication lane. Look at the Beamer out there, the black Beamer with some sort of gold writing all over the front. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's pretty interesting though. And that's Cornelius Valstar. Cornelius Valstar. What a name. That's a beautiful name. I love it. Anyway, he's up against Peter Kelly in that beautiful gold HQ Monaro in the PSR lane. Pro Street Radials, of course. Also the sponsor of Budget Radial. Oh, the little BMW, little bit of a kick out sideways around about half track. It's on the change of gear. We've got our screaming HQ there. We're looking at this car a little bit earlier with the white roof, the red interior. Looks great. And of course, that tough little LC Tirana over there. The LC got out like a little rocket on that occasion. And goes through, takes the win over the big red Monaro. Of course, as we said, as we keep saying, we can't tell you any times, unfortunately. '63 Nova, good looking car. In budget radials, of course. I think both these cars are budget radials. I think we're all running them all together at the moment. I know we are mixing them up a little bit, but both these cars are in budget radials, of course, the Nova and the Falcon.
Let me just tell you, we can't tell you the number, but we're very impressed with its, good mid-range car. Let's just put a hint on it. Might have had a 6 somewhere attached in it. Jason Legrand now and Tim Connolly. I was actually thinking about the HQ. Came out as a ute, a panel van, a wagon, and a Monaro. It actually came out as the two-door. Yep. Not too many of them did the whole thing, including the two-door. So have a look at that. 6-second time starting to come around here, folks. That's all we'll say about it. Jason Legrand. That Turbo HZ just went about its business down the back end there. Again, some of these guys are just needing to do the soft launch. It's then about when do you put the right foot down, or in the case of a lot more higher horsepower cars we've got here, what do you do in the power management part of the car? In other words, is there something you do in the tune other than alter your right foot position to get the thing to hook up? Some of these guys have got different ways. Rowan Lind with his Camaro, it'll be all right foot. Same with Darren Lowe. They both work very, very well. Good old honest street cars, and let me tell you, the short times show that they did have success in hooking up. Rowan does get just a little bit of smoke out of that car on the way down, and good performances both sides. Even Darren Lowe flying a bit under the radar.
And of course, the other part of the equation is that as the day goes on to the track, even though it's not prepped, there is that little bit of extra rubber getting laid down, so the conditions are constantly changing.
All right, here's another couple of guys running another test in here, Lucas Holtz and Alexander Kraft. Now, both vehicles got that 700 on there. We're not revealing the ETs they're running before racing. All they got to know is that they've got to get somewhere in the ballpark. The true win later on in this class will ultimately decide who won, stayed on the right side of the 700 as well. We can't have guys going out there in a 700 class running low sixes. We've got to find you out, and we can still find you out. We've got a piece of paper blocking all of our timers here, but we can also open up the reality. I mean, we're not at that point where we're that. I mean, it's serious. It's a no time thing. No one should really know what everyone's running. It's find out later when you actually do run. So the 700 class is interesting, not knowing any of the classes, not knowing what your, in relation to others, your performance difference, and you can only just sort of then go by feel and instinct, I guess, and that's going to reward the winners here tonight, you would assume. But I think, from memory, this Fairlane of Alexander Kraft, I'll just have to watch it this time to see it. It might have a clutch pedal in this car, which would be, to me, it's this new little bit of 5% extra impressive sometimes. Isn't it amazing? It's things that have gone in and out of fashion. One of them is a manual transmission, and I think now there's things coming back that have been around forever, but now they're a thing, like stick shift is one of the bigger classes in the United States now at any of these other sort of bigger events, like TK24 or even Sick Week has a stick shift class for the week. Of course, our road trips, drag challenges have the same thing. There's rewards there for stick shift cars. So that's kind of it's a new/old thing, but it's always been around. And when you do start to get cars coming back with the manual transmission on board, it's like, oh, well, that's captured your imagination to choose that, to actually have to put a clutch pedal in a car if you want to do it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like you said, having a stick shift car has its own challenges, but at the same time, it has its rewards. So, as you said, it is a thing that we didn't see for a long, long time, but now it's really starting to come back and become popular again.
Well, drag racing sorts out the weak links in any combo, and when you've got a manually shifted drag car, and do you want to believe, he might not even have one. I just know last time it kind of carried on like it was. Let's just see one more time. The car did kind of, give that slight abbreviated run down the track. An auto kind of just delivers the power all the way down. You hear it shift. Sometimes you see cars move around and you try and watch them again to see if they move again. So I'm just going to check this Fairlane out here. It is good for the ones that do have it, because that's a choice. to be inconvenienced a little bit, to be thrilled, entertained, but also inconveniencing it. No. He just had problems last time. Damn it! I sold a dream. I dreamed he had it, and I was just. I know. I'm wrong again for the 8th time this hour, and it's early on in the piece. We've got to find one now. He's got to find one stick shift car now. I know. Well, there is a little Turbo 13B Suzuki Swift here that's got one in it. I know it's got one in it. And you tell me whether that's exciting or not. Oh, it's... we've got some superstars here today, folks. Get your friends on board. Get them out here. Catch up for a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Beautiful skies. Great atmosphere. And we are racing until we find who the winners are for our Junga Bunga Snow Prep Cash Days number 4. Dennis Ryan and Heath Lebsamt out there. That 700 class is going to be one that's really, really tight. Look at that HQ go. Like, this is... honestly, I can't even tell you how quick that was, but you could see it yourself.
It was quick.
I had a quick look. What are you laughing at? Oh, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sort of stuff you've come to see, and you got that for the price of admission. You can get your price of admission sometimes in one go here. You know what I mean? You might see something and you go, damn, I'm glad I paid me $20 to get in. Oh, look, I want to be at the finish line when he does the skid, because it's got all blower wine on this thing, Brett Page. Hats off to him. He's been he's stuck with the Blue Oval his whole life, and this is an everything car. A drag race car, a burnout car, turn up and be noticed car. I'd love that for a formal. Imagine that for a formal. Imagine that, they're all lined up the front waiting for you to come whoop, up the road, just, you know. Yeah, that's right. You can even hear the blower wine almost from behind. Oh, little pop there as he went through. He gets up and goes. He did have to walk it off by the look of it. Like when you look at some of the 60 foots that you're not allowed to see, we can tell when they walk it out. You watch the attitude of the car on the launch, the 60s then kind of coincide with what you've seen. Mind you, absolutely. Bit of screaming six-banger in the middle of that. All I can tell you is that the 60-foot we saw for a certain white Camaro was nowhere near representative. And how soft the thing left, and if they even left it that way, there's not too many battles they wouldn't win with that. All right, we just got to get the names back in here. I think we've got Andy Fensom on one side, Steve Tolley on the other. Both oh, I tell you what, if Steve was in the 700 class later, he's nearly there as being competitive. Let's just say that. But here's another hint. If he had to use that ET in a race, he'd lose. He's competitive, yeah. He'd how else can I say it? In the 7.0 class, he'd be competitive, but with a run like that, he would have lost. There's the hint. It's the riddle. Wish you could play this at home on the live stream. We're going to tell you little riddles and see if you can guess the